Spartan. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Pepsi, more happy, by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA, by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By the University of Michigan Health System, working together, that's the Michigan difference. By Big Boy Restaurants, Big Boy, it's a Michigan thing. And by TCF Bank, for all your banking needs, all you need is a little TCF. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, the Wolverines get a 34-10 win over Minnesota, and Lloyd Carr remains in charge of the Little Brown Jug for another year.
Well, it's great to keep it in Ann Arbor, Jim. It wasn't easy, was it?
No, it wasn't.
It's never easy.
Well, hey, this year, you name me a game that's easy, period. It just isn't going to happen anymore.
Well, it's exciting to keep it here, though, because when you lose it, it's a miserable experience.
It is indeed. And the thing about this Little Brown Jug game, it got started, and it didn't go as planned, did it?
This team is driving me crazy. I mean, we
driving
get
you crazy. You should see me up there in the broadcast
I could
booth.
imagine.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Tell me how you get them back after a start like this.
Well, I don't think any of us expected it. The rain and the wind, you know, it stopped raining just before the game started, but the wind was a real factor. And after an exchange of punts here, Minnesota puts together their longest drive of the day, Jim. They hit their big wide receiver Decker there for a big gain, first down. Now the quarterback, we miss an assignment on the perimeter, and Adam Weber, who did a real nice job at the freshman quarterback from Minnesota, gets them a big first down. They kick a field goal, and they get a 3-0 win.
It's a 3-0 game, and then this is where things start to get a little bit strange. Your offense seems to sputter.
Well, we hit a good pass here on a third down play. Ryan hits Adrian Arrington, well caught, well thrown ball. And then Carlos got the ball in the wrong arm because the handoff wasn't clear there. And so the play started off bad from the beginning, and it went to worse when we fumbled the football and give it back to Minnesota.
But your defense really comes up there on a 2nd and 15. And it forces them back, and they're forced to kick the football.
Well, after that first drive for the field goal, our defense played wonderful against, statistically, one of the better offenses in the country.
But here's one that you wish didn't happen at all.
Well, these Barbers, they keep playing up at Minnesota.
Yeah, what
this
is it about
Marion
those
Barbers? I remember when Marion came out and went to Minnesota, and of course his oldest son had a great career there, but we turn the ball over, Jim, on a quarterback center exchange, and they run it in for a touchdown. Now we're down 10-0.
And that's not the way it was. Now here, the passing game starts to get going. This is just a great catch by Arrington.
Well, Ryan hung it a little bit, just enough that Adrian could make a wonderful catch and gives us some field position. We stall the drive, but Casey Lapata kicks a field goal, and now we're back to a one-score game.
How about Casey Lapata? That was into the wind. That was a big kick there.
Well, he's done an absolutely wonderful job.
And then Minnesota fumbles the football. Now, this is something that they've done all year. And it was good to get a turnover because now this puts you back in position, in decent field position.
Well, Brandon Graham comes up with the football, and he's a guy that just plays with a lot of emotion. He's gotten better every week. And here Ryan throws a very good pass, but Mario makes an outstanding catch. And again, we've got great field position. We don't do much with it. And Casey kicks another field goal, and both those, Jim, into the wind, as you mentioned.
And it's a 10-6 game right now. The other thing I'd like to mention on that throw, great protection. You did a great job protecting Ryan.
Well, our offensive line has done a pretty good job throughout the course of this season. Here's another third down stop. Donovan Warren, a guy that gets better every week, makes a play there. We had a good call, a blitzing linebacker. hit the quarterback.
Then you start to run the football. And I thought this was key. You had them now backing out of there and on their heels.
Well, our offensive line, I think we've had some learning experiences in finding the holes. I thought in this game, Jim, that Brandon Miner and Carlos Brown really had their best games as far as seeing and getting into the holes.
This is a 3rd and 6. Another wonderful catch by Manningham.
Well, Mario made some wonderful catches, and that was one of them, 360 there, catching the ball, turning all the way around here. And on a 3rd down play, we get an interference call and a 1st down and 2. And
Mario makes that interference call because he gets position on the corner. Then Brandon Miner makes them pay.
Well, they get a little penetration, but we opened up such a hole on the left side there behind Jake and Adam and Carson Butler that Brandon makes a good run and gets us a lead at the halftime, finally.
Yeah, 13-10. I mean, were you going off at halftime going, man, I can't believe we got the lead, because you had to fight back from a pretty big hole.
Well, I think our defense really steadied, kept us in the game, and then finally we started to run the ball better. But I think the biggest thing that happened in the first half is we had some big pass plays that changed field position.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the second half when Michigan puts it away. But first we hear from Tim Jamison, who says the Wolverines knew Minnesota could be tough on offense.
We knew that coming in this game, they had a very good offensive coordinator, that they were going to get some good plays. Like I said, they were ranked number 2 in the nation. I mean, in the Big Ten. So we just came out there, play hard. We didn't get frustrated or nothing when they scored some big runs, but we did our job.
To Inside the Locker Room.
Fred Jackson is a great coach. He just got people lined up for that because he's that good, you know. Go in there any kind of situation and take care of them.
Wolverines had a 13-10 lead at halftime on Saturday over Minnesota. What did you tell the guys at halftime after being, you know, in a tight game right then?
Well, I told them I thought our defense had played extremely well. I thought we'd done some good things in the kicking game. And offensively, we settled down the second quarter. And the main thing, don't turn the football over. Don't be careless with it. And let's play our best football this season, these next 2 quarters.
Well, in the third quarter, it stayed fairly close. You're running the football a little bit. It's late in the third quarter when you finally get a position where you can make something happen. I thought this is the biggest play in the game right here, because it's still a 3-point game, and you finally make a big play to put yourself in position to score.
Well, Jim, it really did change field position. It was a 3rd down play. I thought Mike DeBoer made a good call. And here, great blocking from the left side of the line. You see Jake blocking a guy down the field. Greg Matthews comes back and makes a good play, and we get a 1st down on the 5-yard line.
And then Carlos Brown goes in. But at this point now, it's a 10-point game. But that pass to Manningham just seemed to spark the whole team, didn't it?
Well, I think it really did. I think that's what big plays do for you, and we took advantage of that.
And here, it sparks the defense. You get a sack, and you force them on 3rd and 2 to kick the ball back to you.
Well, we had good pressure, and Brandon got through there, and he's, along with our entire front four, Terrence Taylor, Tim Jamison, those guys, and Sean Crable, they're doing a great job for us.
And this is your next possession, and that's late in the third quarter. You get a big play out of Brandon Miner, gets you to the midfield. Now you go up top again, and this is just a great pass and catch.
Well, it is, and Ryan makes a perfect throw here. And, you know, when you consider the way we started the game, the way he started the game with the fumbling the snap, he came back and acquitted himself quite well.
On a 3rd and 3, they go to the option. They're still down 27-10, and your defense is still not giving up the big play. They're forcing them to go the long way.
Well, we've got a lead, and the main thing that we did in this game is we didn't give up the big plays. Here's Sean Crable, who's one of the leading statistical leaders in the nation in tackles for loss, comes up with a big play. And here is one of the exciting plays of the day.
This is the one you called, right?
No, I didn't call it, but I was delighted to see Carlos hit that crease there. And as we've talked about from the beginning on He's a guy that can really run fast, and it's great to see him and Brandon play like they did today.
Well, they did just such a great job. And then we wanted to put this play in to show how the game closed. The defense just continued to play well against an offense that averaged pretty big numbers, and they got nowhere near that on Saturday.
Well, very big numbers, Jim, and I think we did a great job, particularly on third down. We got them off the field. We kept giving our offense some opportunities, and even though we struggled a little bit, eventually we were able to take control of the line of scrimmage.
You spoke after the game about Ryan Mallett and how a week ago against Illinois he was frustrated and had difficulty handling a tough game that he had. And you were very complimentary about how he came back from early mistakes in this one.
Well, I really feel good about the progress and where he came in 8 days, because he was not happy with the way he performed last week. And yet, you have to remember what a young guy he is. And everything that happens in all of these games are learning experiences for him. And yet, he's played well enough. And certainly in this game against Minnesota, he made some big throws that gave us a chance to win.
And those throws came after those mistakes, which is saying something, because he didn't get down on himself to kind of pout, but he came back and performed.
Well, Jim, a week ago he got frustrated because he had a couple of snaps. This week he didn't. That's real progress, because he is a guy who wants to play well, and he has great pride in himself. And I think his teammates helped him through a tough week. But, it's all about learning, and that's true. We're seeing now the benefit of some of the experience that our running backs are
Carlos
getting.
and Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Well, the Little Brown Jug stays in Ann Arbor, the final 34-10 Michigan over Minnesota. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll meet Brandon Engelman. But first, we hear from Sean Cravel talking about the defense. It was all about management against Minnesota.
Well, at first we didn't really know what they were going to do. We knew they liked the pass. We knew they wanted to run the ball. They're averaging close to 500 a game. And our assignments really was just to limit them to what they could do. I mean, we knew they had a good offensive coordinator. We knew they was going to do a lot of things, but we just wanted to limit what they did.
Now, the Pontiac Performance Play of the Game.
Here's Mallett to throw. Looking, a lot of time. Guns it near side. Juggling catch by Manningham inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line. What a grab by Mario Manningham.
From Covington, Kentucky. His position changed once he got to Ann Arbor. He went from quarterback to defensive back, and the truth is, he knew it would happen all along.
Really, I came in as a corner, but I mean, I guess Coach E said I wasn't fast enough, so he moved me to safety. But I mean, just me being competitive, and Coach Herman wanting to put me in a position where I could succeed. I knew I wasn't going to come up here and play quarterback, of course. I was just willing to step up for that challenge. He said he didn't promise me anything. He just said I'm gonna put you in a position to give you a chance to compete. And with that being said, I just wanted that opportunity.
Brandon has seized that opportunity and has been a steady contributor since his sophomore year. Now, as a fifth-year senior, he's fallen in love with the safety position because it's very close to how he made his name back in high school.
Safeties are a lot like quarterbacks on the defense, so you have to get people lined up. Me and Jamar, kind of get the corners intact with us, and you get to do everything on defense. You get the blitz, you get the cover, you get to hit people when their backs turn to you. You get to hit people when they're looking at you. So, and you get to make plays as a safety, and that's just the fun of playing defense.
Defensive coordinator Ron English and secondary coach Vance Bedford are key factors in Engelman's development. He's playing the best football of his life right now, and he may be, from beginning as a youngster to this point, the most improved Wolverine, and he'll tell you why.
First of all, it starts with being able to communicate with the rest of the team, and then the second thing is being able to fly around and hit. And that's one of the things that Coach E emphasizes on. And then with the addition of Coach Bedford, he wants you to make plays, put you in position to make those plays. So with that being said, like with those two coaches, how could you not be successful?
He's such a good kid. And the interesting thing, talk about perseverance. Brandon Engelman did not start this season. And it was game 1 or 2 or 3, I forget which one, where he moved into the starting spot. And as you've said, he's having a wonderful year.
Jim, this guy's having a great year. And, you know, he's an award winner, academic student athlete for the National Football Foundation out of high school and since he's been at Michigan. So he's a guy that brings great character and what he's done on the field in terms of and off the field in terms of leadership and being a role model for our younger players. This guy's really something special.
That's great. And that's what college football is a lot about. Kids like Brandon Engelman growing up and just being good kids, good players, and good people. When we come back, we'll scout those Spartans from Michigan State. But first, we hear from Terrence Taylor telling us MSU is a familiar group.
It does. I know a couple guys over there at Michigan State, and it feels good to go over there and get a win. So that's one thing. We're going to go into practice real serious, have a good 2 days of practice, and go to this game real focused.
For the Big Ten Championship, so we know we have to come out and have a great game, and I'm sure there's going to be a time where I'm going to get in there and they're going to need me to hit a kick, so I just got to come be prepared and have a good week of practice and make sure I do my best part to get everyone else as prepared as they can be too.
Well, it's Michigan State week. The battle for the Little Brown Jug is ancient history. Now comes the old Paul Bunyan Trophy.
Well, you should know.
I'm from East Lansing.
You're from East Lansing?
How
did you get down here?
You know, I was like the 3 wise men. I walked out of the house, saw a star in the
well,
east.
you got a great family background that goes back
and they're good
Michigan
Spartans.
State.
They're good Spartans. My mom, my dad, my brother Art, but I'm amazing blue guy.
Thank God.
And you've got to handle the green and white Spartans of new coach Mark D'Antonio. And this is a team that can run a football.
Well, they're one of the top 5 teams in the nation rushing the football, and an outstanding quarterback, Brian Hoyer, who's a guy that gets them in the right play. He's got a very strong arm, and a guy that is not going to make mistakes.
But their featured players is Javon Ringer and Jehu Coker, aren't they?
Ringer, they're just as different as 2 backs could be. Ringer is a guy with great speed, make you miss, tough. Jehu is a guy that's 260 pounds. He's scored 16 touchdowns this year. That's a career. Yeah.
And Devin Thomas is their big play wide receiver.
This guy has broken on the scene, and I mean, everybody in the nation knows who he is.
Defensively, Janelle St. Deke he's already set a record for fumbles forced. Caleb Thornhill, old Charlie Thornhill's son, middle linebacker, and Kendall Davis-Clark is their best secondary guy. This is a test, and in East Lansing, they're going to be very difficult.
Well, I don't think there's any question that this is going to be a typical Michigan State game. I mean, you've got to stop the run. If you don't stop the run against Michigan State, they won't throw it. They don't, they got guys that like to run it. They got a big, strong, physical offensive line. And I like their defensive front. I mean, the linebackers are good, but these guys in the front are athletic, they're tough, and they're guys that can make big plays.
Got to ask you the question, and just because it's on the mind
of
everyone.
You don't have to.
Yes,
Jim.
I do. Because I am basically the spokesperson for all the Michigan faithful out there.
Oh, you are?
How do you like that?
Yeah.
Did I get away with that?
Yeah,
you did. Pretty good, huh?
You're pretty cool.
People want to know. And I know it's awful early.
People want to know.
People want to know. Always early in the week, but they're going to ask questions about Chad Henne and Mike Hart and their availability against Michigan State.
Jim, we're going to know a lot more Tuesday when we get out back on the practice field. I hate to say the same thing. I think they're much improved. Mike, was much improved late in the week. He wanted to play on Saturday morning, I guarantee you that. And I think Chad will be fine. I think, however, it's like anything else. You just have to see, because neither one of them practiced much this week. We went in with the idea that we wanted to make sure that they were as close to 100% when they return as they can. And so, but we'll just have to see how it goes, and we'll go from there. But we're a better football team today than we were last week because we had some young guys step up.
All right. Well, it's Michigan State next week. It's always going to be a beauty. Be here with us next week. We'll go over it all on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by